Good morning the internet, and good morning to my subscriber. I left the campsite about an hour ago and I've had a great couple of days on that campsite. Besides great toilets and showers, even had a washing machine, so I did all my laundry. And attached to the campsite there was like a cafe cum restaurant, and I ate there twice, and both times I couldn't finish my food. And it cost a little less than €10 each time, and that included a tin of beer. And last night I had my last meal there. He gave me an extra tin of beer. When I was going back to the tent, he just gave me another tin of beer, which was nice of him. So I've had a couple of days there, and I caught up on my video editing, done all my laundry, and yesterday I just chilled out. I did absolutely nothing yesterday, nothing at all. Just read my Kindle, sat in the shade, and it was like being on holiday. It was fantastic. But there we go. What's he up to? Not that having a picnic, but so who said all the roads in Albania are bad? About half an hour after I left where I was camping, I just hit new tarmac, and I've been riding on new tarmac ever since. There's a few little patches of old, but it seems like in this little region they're replacing all the tarmac, which is great. So today I'm heading south. I'm heading for a place called Lake Ohrid, O-H-R-I-D, and I just saw the place on the map and I thought, let's go and have a look. So I could make it to Greece if I wanted to, but I want to go and see what Lake Ohrid's like, so I'm going to camp there, and then tomorrow I'm heading towards Greece, and there we go. So I'm back in the mountains again, heading south, just over there. In fact, I think Kosovo's behind me now, just over that side. I think what we're looking at over there is North Macedonia. This is like a national park I'm going through, and it's lovely. So other than that, everything's great. The bike's running good, I'm running good. Look at this beautiful view there. That's wonderful, isn't it? Oh. Do you know, I was a little bit not worried. I thought, well, Albania, you know, I've heard so many people say negative things about Albania, but I think it's superb. I think the views, the countryside, the people are so friendly and helpful. It's really good. I've really enjoyed my time in Albania. And these new roads are pretty good as well. So, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. And a little bit later on today, about 150 kilometres, so not far at all. It's about the same going to Greece tomorrow as well, about 150 kilometres. Like I said, I could do it all in a day if I wanted to, but I don't want to. The campsite I'm heading for today is right on the water's edge, so I might even go for a paddle later. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. go there, and what a good day that's been. It was just a short day, about 150 kilometres, only took a couple of hours, and I'm right at the southern tip of Lake Ohrid, which is right at the bottom of Albania, and there's my campsite, and look at this beautiful beach on this massive big lake. It really is. It is a huge lake, and just over there, that is North Macedonia, and just over there is Albania. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good, and I got here, got my tent up, had a brew, had a snack, and then I came down the beach for a while, and I've just eaten, and now I'm just chilling out. So and it's only 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's so peaceful, so peaceful. Just up there, there's a big town, begins with a P, I can't remember what it's called. That was busy. It was a bit like Benidorm, but you've only got to come couple of kilometres down the road and you've got all this peace and quiet, and it's absolutely stunning. Anyway, that's me, and back on the road tomorrow, heading into Greece. So and it should be easy, and then and then that'll be me in Greece then for the next week, 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see there's quite a few places I want to see, so I don't know how long I'm going to be in Greece for, but we'll see. Anyway, could be a week, could be 2 weeks, I don't know. Anyway, thanks very much indeed, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye. and good morning the internet, and hello to my subscriber. How are you today? I'm alright. I'm just taking a right-hander at the moment, going uphill. I don't mind left-handers, but right-handers I seem to struggle with a little bit, but there we go. Especially ones that are going uphill. So let's have a stop here for a second. Oh, that's a bit of a view, isn't it? Gosh, yeah, that's lovely. What a great view. Right, so onward and upwards, as they say. So I've had a good couple of days in Ioannina. I was really fed up yesterday because I went to download the footage off my GoPro onto my laptop, and it seemed that at some stage the card had corrupted itself, so I lost all the footage from southern Albania through the Greek mountains. I was really fed up. If I'd lost the footage from France, Germany, Luxembourg, Italy, anywhere, I wouldn't have minded. But to lose that footage from Albania into northern Greece, I was really fed up. Absolutely. The Greek mountains are absolutely superb. There was some absolute great bits of footage that I wanted to save for myself more than anything else. And last night I was lay there thinking about it. Oh, that was a bit wide. And I even thought, shall I go back and do it again? And I thought, don't be stupid, what's done is done. So that's it. So I lost all the footage going from southern Albania all the way into northern Greece through the beautiful Greek mountains. I mean, most people think Greece is beaches and tavernas and holidays, but it's not. You go to northern Greece and the mountains are absolutely stunning, and if you're on two wheels you've got to come up here because it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So anyway, what else did I do yesterday? So I dropped the bike off at the tyre shop, had 2 new tyres fitted, and they says come back in 2 hours. Came back in 2 hours and they were fitted, and I went straight back to the campsite and I checked the torque on the axles and everything and seen where the pipe is for my chain lubricator, and everything was perfect. Absolutely. So that was €400, 2 tyres including fitting, and they did it absolutely superb. So well done. I left them a 5-star review on Google. After that I went into the old town to look at the castle, and that used to be the home of someone called Ali Pasha. Ali Pasha. Now Ali Pasha was a bit of a rogue, and he came to prominence in the late 1700s, and he rose up through the ranks of the Ottoman Empire, and he was made a pasha, which means you're the ruler of a area. So he was like the ruler of southern Albania and central northern Greece. But he was a bit of a rogue. He was into protection rackets, like I'll protect your village if you give me so many sheep and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, he bit off a bit more than he could chew in 1820, and tried to take some land of his neighbouring pasha. So he was told to report to Constantinople within 40 days and explain himself, and he never showed up. He holed up in his castle in Ioannina. The castle itself had been there since about the 1300s, and in its heyday it would have been really quite big, quite impressive. Anyway, because he never turned up for his showdown, they sent out a small army and besieged him, and after about 100 days siege, he came out to parley. He didn't trust the Turks and they didn't trust him, and there was a firefight and he got shot. So the Turks chopped off his head to take back to Constantinople to say, yeah, we've killed him, here he is. and his dismembered body, oh look at that there, his dismembered body they put into a tomb in that castle at Ioannina. The body's long gone. I don't know where the body went to, where it ended up, but the tomb's there next to a mosque. The mosque has been there from about the 1400s, and that stopped being a mosque about just before World War II because the castle became a military fort. Which way do we go? Do I go this way? Oh no, I think I go the other way. Oh dear, oh dear. So too busy chatting, too busy chatting. So yeah, the fort became a military fort just before World War II, so it stopped being a mosque, became a hospital for a while, and then laid empty, and it's now a museum. But when I went to see it yesterday, it was closed. So there we go. So yesterday was a day of pluses and minuses. Minuses in that I lost all the footage from northern Albania coming into northern Greece, but a plus in that I got new tyres, and I went to see the grave of Ali Pasha, although Ali Pasha had long gone. So today I'm heading into the mountains, I'm heading south, and I'm going to look at a monastery, if I can find it. And then after that I'm going to head south again, and I'm going to a place, I think it's called Nicopolis, and I want to go there because there's an amphitheatre I want to see, and there's a fort I want to see as well, so should be good. Also, I believe the temperature tomorrow is going to go to 37 degrees. That should be fun. So this is me heading into the mountains again. When I got my tyres yesterday, after I checked that everything was okay, I went for a bit of a ride to scrub them off, and still taking a bit of getting used to because they're a bit knobblier than the last tyres. The last tyres were more or less like road tyres, but these are a bit more off-roady, so they got bigger knobbles. And it's interesting going into a bend because you've actually, instead of just leaning into the bend, you've got to sort of steer it into the bend, which is a bit strange. And you get so far and you get this feeling that you're actually going to fall into the bend, which is just the way that tyres work, I suppose. So I've got to overcome this fear of falling into the bend. So the time at the moment is 8:36. It's nice and early, and it's only 23 degrees, so it's nice and cool. Oh, nice bump. Right, so I'm going to shut up, I'm going to play some music, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye. Right, this is called the Mparos Pass. Mparos Pass. And I've been coming up here for the past 20 minutes and now it's going to lead me all the way. You can see the road going on. It goes round, then it comes along, and it goes down, and it goes down there, and then it will go around, and then we'll go out and I'll start heading south. It's going to be fun. And I've just stopped for a small break to look at this amazing view as I'm more or less on my way out of the mountains now. I've had a morning of up and down and going over passes. It's been beautiful. But one of the great things you see in Greece is usually outside a village you'll get a little pagoda thing where there's shade, and the best thing of it all is sometimes there's usually a little spring. So I'm just there we go, just get me a water bottle, because just about here is some spring water, so I'm going to fill up the water bottle. Oh, what a great day today! And hello the internet, and hello to my subscriber. And it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, and you don't get much better than this, do you? So anyway, here I am. And yesterday I left my campsite and I went straight into the mountains. The first thing I wanted to see was an old monastery that was built into a mountain, that had been there from about the 1400s, which was interesting. And then I headed into the mountains, and I spent much of the afternoon just riding around the mountains, and it was superb. And then yesterday, late afternoon, I ended up where I am now at this campsite behind me, with a nice beach. Got here yesterday at, I'm just north of a place called Nicopolis, and it's nice and peaceful. So why have I come to Nicopolis? Well, about 31 BC, there was a big sea battle just out there, and it was between the navy of Emperor Octavius, who was the leader of Rome at that time, and the upstarts Antony and Cleopatra. And they had their big sea battle just out there, and Antony and Cleopatra were well and truly defeated, and they scuttled off back to Alexandria. So Emperor Octavius was so happy and so pleased, he decided that just nearby, to commemorate the battle, he will build a city. And that's what they did, they built a city. So and it lasted for many years. About 1 AD, when on the decline of the Roman Empire, things started to convert to Christianity. It also became, Nicopolis became a centre of Christian worship and pilgrimage and things like that. And there was lots of churches there. Yeah. So the city thrived, although over the years, over the next 800 years, they had quite a few battles. The Vandals came down, and then the Barbarians, and there was another group as well. But by about 900 AD, the population had started to decline a little bit, and people started moving away. So about 900 they says, no, that's us, we've had enough now, let's close the city and all move away. And that's what they did. And all the marble, the statues, a lot of the finery got taken down and just distributed around this part of Greece, which is strange, but that's the way that they did it. And there's bits of what used to be here, they're all up and down this part of Greece. Amazing when you think about it. So this is Nicopolis, and this is the reason why I'm here. And what's left? Well, besides all the ruins, there's the city walls. There's also a big amphitheatre, and I want to come and see those. And there's also just about 20k away, there's a big fort I want to go and see as well. And that's the reason why I've come to Nicopolis. So yes, I had a good day yesterday. 200 kilometres, and I just love going through those mountains. And I had my new tyres on, and they performed fine, and it was great. So if I get back later, I might do a little bit of bronzy. I don't know, I'm not really the person who I have to be in an extremely lazy mood to go and sit in the shade, so I may just go and do that later. But I've got to go and look at some ruins today, so which is going to be fun. I may stay here tomorrow, I may move on tomorrow, I don't know yet, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. So that's me, having a great time. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.